Building a website without a design system is like building a house without a plan from the architect. It will be like building on the go, and that doesn't work. It delays you and you make a lot of mistakes. And the most important thing is you're going to have something which is not consistent. Let me show you what I mean. So over here, we have a Divi website. So this is out of the box. I haven't added anything to this. Now notice what happens when I start adding elements onto this page. And as I'm adding this, there's going to be a lot of work that needs to be done for me to customize each and every item that I've added in here. What do I mean by that? Well, for example, this text right here, I would need to select it and then make sure that I set the right size of this text by coming over here to the design tab. And then when I come over here, you notice that we have a problem because now I have to go in and start entering manual numbers here. So for example, maybe 20 pixels and so on. This is not the right approach to design a website. Divi gives us variables, and these variables are a step further into having a design system which allows our websites to become consistent. But even then, if you have your variables here, you still have to do a lot of work manually. Now, there is a solution to this. There is a tool that I built, which is called KrafterPRO. This is a professional workflow plugin for Divi 5. Let me show you how it works. So first of all, I'm going to go ahead and install it. I'm going to save what I've done so far here, and then I'm going to open a new tab. So now let's install KrafterPRO. So to do that, we want to come over here to plugins and then click on add plugin. Next, I'm going to say upload plugin, and then I'm just going to drag and drop it in here. So all I have to do now is to click on install. And in a moment, this is going to be installed. I'm going to activate the plugin. And now that it's activated, we now have a professional design system installed, and we can see that because we have an entry here which says KrafterPRO. So I'm going to go straight to the dashboard so we can see what is happening. So as you can see here, there is nothing going on. There is no presets. In fact, let me just open the page. So you can see here that pretty much we have out of the box Divi, right? So what we need to do now is to style this and make it look more professional. So to do that, we're going to come over here to the dashboard. Next, we're going to come over here to downloads because we have these two very important files here. This is where the design workflow starts. So we're going to start off with the design system. I'm going to click here, and you can see here it is downloaded. The next thing I'm going to do is to come over here to the import tab. I'm going to import that file that just downloaded. So I'm just going to find it here on my computer, and I'm just going to drag and drop it. So it's in my downloads, and here it is. I'm going to drag and drop it in here. Okay, so right now we don't have anything in here, so I don't need to preserve any settings. So I'm going to go ahead and say preview import. So now it's telling me what is going to be imported. So you can see here, I have color variables. I put 68 colors. Now imagine these are the type of colors that you would have needed to put together before you can actually start designing a professional website. We have variable spacing. We also have presets, and these are 304 presets, all done for you. And you'll see them in action in a moment. When I scroll down here, you can see everything is laid out nice and clear. So this is our brand colors. These are our brand shades, which will come in handy as we're designing our website. We have our neutral colors here. We also have our semantic colors, text colors, backgrounds, borders, and then we also have other. These are like focus rings and so on. Anyway, so as you can see, this is a detailed file. It has all your spacing scale. It has your clamp values. It has a lot going on. Let's go ahead and click on confirm and import. And this now is going to import everything. Okay, do you see how quick that was? Now over here on the top, it tells us we have 96 colors, 2 fonts, 232 variables, presets. Okay, fantastic. So how does this help us really? Well, now let's take a look and see how this is going to help us. I'm going to refresh this page, and straight away you notice that this has taken H1, this has taken the body text, this has taken the default colors. So just by installing this, I have a very, very good starting point, which is fantastic. Okay, so let's further design this. I'm going to go in and say edit with Divi. So this design system actually knows what has been installed. So I can go in and do some further tweaks. Maybe I want to make this heading nice and bold. I'm going to go ahead, select this, and then I'm going to come over here to the top. And this is where things get very exciting. If I click on this drop down, notice that we have all these variables, right? Ready for us to start using. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and say medium. Okay. Let's go with this nice bold look. Now we have this paragraph text. I'm going to go in, select it, and I'm going to go with, should I leave it as it is? But anyway, let me just go with large. All right. For the buttons here, I'm going to select my button, and then I'm going to come over here and choose my secondary button, because that's what I'm going to use as my call to action. And then over here, I am going to choose a button that is muted. So I'm going to go for neutral like that. And then over here on the top, I am going to make this an eyebrow. So I'm going to go ahead and say K eyebrow, just like that. Okay. Now it looks a bit small, right? So the good thing is I have all my variables in, and this is where the design system comes in. I can go to design, text, and right now, in fact, it hasn't been applied. So I'm going to go in and say text small, and here it is. And all these are clamp values. I don't need to go in and start adjusting for the tablet. Everything just works automatically. Do you see how everything is just working? I mean, this is in real time. I haven't done any editing in these different views. The next thing we want to take a look at is the blurbs here. So I'm going to go in and stylize this. So first of all, I'm going to select the top one, come over here to the top and select my K blurb. So I can even go with K blurb dark, or this one. Now, the most important thing here is it's pre-designed for us, which means I don't need to spend so much time trying to design it. Now I can go in and choose my color, and I can select this, go to the background, and I already have my colors here. I want to go with a background, let's say dark subtle. Okay. So with that, my text here is not very easy to read, but now I want you to notice how easy it is to go in and change this. I'm going to come over here to design, and then I'm going to start off with my title text. I'm going to select it and say heading light. And you can see there it has changed color. Body text, I want to do the same. Body text light, boom. And now I'm pretty much almost ready to go. I just need to add my image in here by coming over here to content. And then I'm just going to come over here to image. So the image I'm going to add is this one, upload image, and look at that. My design is really looking good. Next, I'm just going to duplicate this because I don't have a lot of images to use in here. Next, I am going to now come over here to my row settings. I'm going to go into my elements and select my column. Now in this column here, you're going to find something very interesting. I can come over here to the top and straight away say auto grid. And now everything has been set. So let me just get rid of this one here, which is not styled. And then I'm just going to duplicate this. Okay, so now I have 3 of them. So do you see how clean and easy this is? So while I have, in fact, let me just go back in here into my column. Okay, and now while I'm in my column, I can go into my design tab and change my layout here. So right now I've got gap medium. I can increase it a little bit here if I need to. And this spacing here is fluid and responsive, which means you don't have to worry about the gaps here when the size of the screen gets smaller. Okay, now most designers look at this and say, well, we're almost done. Well, no, not really. The design system here gives us a lot of things to work with. I'm going to select my section here and I'm going to show you how the padding works. I'm going to go in and say padding extra large, because this is a hero section. But the text here is covering quite a lot of space. I'm going to select this. And because this is a row, which has pretty much your text, I'm going to say text wide. Okay, in fact, that's not right. Let me choose another one. So row text. Okay, so row text wide. This is the size. Now I can decide whether I want to have a lot of this text here or make it even smaller. Even if it's too cramped, I can just go in here and say, you know what? I want to change this display medium to small. And then I'm going to get rid of this one. And now it's looking much better just by making that change. The next thing I can do now is to go in, add a background image. I'm going to come over here to my content, go to my background and add an image. In fact, let's start by adding a really dark color. So do you see my color palette is also in here? So I can go in and set my colors like that. And then over here on the image, I'm going to add my image in the background and it's going to be this one. I'm going to upload image, but you see, I need to add an overlay. So I'm going to scroll down here and say multiply. And then the next thing I'm going to do is to just go in and reduce like that. I mean, I can add a gradient if I want to as well, but I think this will work. And then over here, I can go in and start changing this. So my heading text here can be heading light. And then for my body text here, I can go in and say light, light like that. And then for my text over here on the top, I can go in and set this to light as well. No, not light like that, but font body light. Okay, so that's looking great, but we're not done yet because there's a few things that we can do. I can come over here to the bottom section, but instead of making it extra large, I can just set this to large. Okay, now I think there is a value that was added in here, and if there is, you can always go in and remove it. But anyway, that's looking great so far. Now, let's say this is a complete website and you'd like to deliver it to your clients. Well, you can just save this and let's go back to KrafterPRO. So over here now, we have a handoff document. I can go in here, upload the client's logo, and then I can start filling in all this information, the project name. So I can call it Mac Design. And you can see all these were auto added because this is going to save you a lot of time. The system knows that, I mean, this is the URL. It knows the hosting provider. It knows pretty much quite a lot of information, the PHP version and so on. So this is where you can get to add all the information you want. Admin access notes. You can go in and add it here. Theme. This is Divi. If there's any custom CSS location, you can add it all here. And if I scroll further down here, it also tells you how many plugins are active, right? So this is a very, very comprehensive document. So let's say you are ready now to export this and send it to your client. You can just click on Export PDF. And now you can see all your information is here, right? You see that? So this is the information that you send your client. Now, you may see that there's less views here. I mean, less fields. That is because it does not add fields that were not filled in. Okay, so let me get rid of this. And yeah, that's our document. All right. The next thing I want to show you is the style guide. So here again, you drop your image here, which is your logo. And this style guide has all the colors that we use. So you can see these are brand colors. These are primary shades, secondary shades, semantic colors. It also tells us the fonts that we use and so on, and the sizes as well. So the style guide is also something that you can give your clients to, it makes you look very, very professional. The next thing I also want to take a look at here is, let's say you want to back up all the colors and everything that you've used in case you want to use it on another project. You can just go ahead and download the full design system here by just clicking on download, and you can see here that it worked. And this is the complete design system. It will have all the colors, the presets, and so on. And here's one of the most exciting parts of this design workflow plugin. Over here, we also have a shop. Now, this is going to launch very soon. Now, this is going to have our starter sites. Our starter sites are designed using this design workflow, your colors, your fonts and everything. So these are going to be, once you master how to use this design workflow, it's going to be very, very easy for you to use all these starter sites. The idea with the starter sites is to create websites that are ready to go, like ready for the client. You don't have to go in and start searching for which plugin to use, where, and so on. Once you download the starter site, you are just literally going to change your images, you're going to change your font and colors, and the site is ready to go. The idea with this professional workflow plugin is to save hours upon hours of work that you have to do manually. And this is why I created this. Okay, so you may be thinking, well, okay, well, it's all really exciting. What else is here? Well, a lot of you have been asking me about the languages. So over here, we have the 3 languages, Dutch, French, and Spanish. So if I select that, you can see here it has translated. Let's try another one. Let's go French. Yeah, there we go. I mean, you guys can confirm with this with me, because I have no idea what I'm reading here. But anyway, you get the idea. And let's just take it back to English. All right. So with this system here, we also have a few things on the side. If I go to my system here, it is going to tell us exactly what is happening right now. We're on plugin version 2.0.96. We're approaching 3.0, which is fantastic. And it is telling us quite a lot of information. So sometimes you may not be sure what plugin version you're working. Just come over here to the system and it will tell you exactly what is going on. Further down here, you also have your diagnosis. If something goes wrong, you can share some of this information with us. You can just copy it here and send it over. Screen layout, right now we're on 1280. You can change this. Now I prefer 1440, and you can see there it has gone wider, or you can even go extra wide if you want. The import changelog, this will tell you exactly what's been happening. So if you go to show details, you can see what has happened. Initially, there was the DM serif font, but it was overridden by Poppins and so on. Okay, and the colors that were removed, it'll tell you all the colors that were removed. And basically, it's just a snapshot as to what was happening. Next, we also have our help tab. Now here is, if you want to watch this quick start guide, you can watch this quick start guide. You also have links to the community, to the Divi Mastery course, which is actually a course that is very, very important. In fact, in a moment, I'll talk about it. Here is where we have the release notes. I mean, as you can see, a lot of work has gone in just today alone. Look at everything that was fixed here. All this was fixed today, right? And these were added. Yesterday, there was also a lot of work that was done. Look at all this, all the stuff that was added. Look at all the fixed items. So we're going to continue on and make sure that when this ships, it will be usable and ready for production. So the question is, what happens from now? Now, I know in the Divi 5 community on diviuniversity.com, a lot of you were asking, well, what happens, you know, for those of us that are lifetime members? Well, I've always kept my promise. If you're a lifetime member, I am not going to charge you for this comprehensive plugin. You get everything absolutely free. If you're someone that purchased the previous version of KrafterPRO, which is about version 2 point something, which is not as detailed as this, you're going to get a free upgrade. You don't have to pay anything extra. So what happens to those of you that want to purchase this, but obviously on a yearly basis? Well, what's going to happen is when you purchase this on a yearly basis, over here on the shop, you will not have access to these new sites if you don't renew, but everything else will work as fine. But the new starter sites that are going to be produced after your license has expired, you will not get access to those. Okay, that's the only massive change that's going to be there. And also the style guide here, you won't get, in fact, where are we? Yeah, downloads. Right, so here, the design system, we're going to have different themes of the design system. So here, if you don't renew, you don't get the extra design systems that are going to be published. You also don't get the theme builder templates. So apart from that, pretty much you'll have access to everything. Now, what are the advantages of this? Well, if you're in a design agency and you want to share your files, your design systems, consistently across board, this does not need to work with just the design system that I ship. No, it can work with even your own design systems. But the most important thing is you can share them by exporting it here. You give it your own name, share it with your team, and you're pretty much cool. And the good thing about this is you can go in and actually see what you have in your own design system. There's a quick preview here where you can look at your link color, link cover color, your brand colors, and so on. Now, let's say you want to ship this and give one of your workmates. You can just uncheck the ones you don't want to export by doing that. And as you can see, the count here has gone down. And this is what you'll export. But this is not only exclusive to just the colors, right? You can also exclude the fonts from exporting like that, the spacing system, and so on. If you want a quick way to export this, you can just choose presets only, just like that. And you can see there 306 presets are selected, and then nothing else, right? If you want variables only, boom, these are your variables, and there's no presets, right? So you can share literally parts of your design system with your team. Perhaps it may be you want to even sell these. I mean, you can do that. So this is a very, very powerful management system. You click on download now, and then all you need to do is to come over here to import it, and you are good to go. Now, I mentioned the course, right? If you come over here onto Divi University, we have a Divi 5 mastery course over here on the courses. Now, this course now has 1,435 students. This course teaches you how to use Divi 5. Divi 5, as you know, it's been built from the ground up. It's a new UI interface, and it's much more professional than what we had with Divi 4. And there's a lot going on in there. This is going to be your jumpstarts to learning how to design with Divi 5. This is a much, much easier course to follow. You don't have to spend time on YouTube trying to find out how it works. This course will get you up and running fast. How much is it? Well, it's only $37. $37, and all the future lessons, you're going to get them absolutely for free. Once you purchase this, you don't need to pay any extra. That's the advantages of this. So go ahead, check it out. The link to that one is in the video description below. And this is the right moment to purchase KrafterPRO. After the launch, I'll probably run a promotion for 2 days, and then the lifetime is going to go forever. Okay, the lifetime is going to go forever. This has to go on a renewal basis every year. As you can imagine, there's thousands of code that I have to go through. I also have to get professional developers to help me out. All that costs a lot of money. Now that the website is getting more and more visitors, I need to upgrade the server itself. So if I do a one-off payment, I may get stuck in the future. So that is why I'm just doing a quick promotion, and then after that, it's going to be yearly. This is the time to purchase the lifetime license. We only have a few more days, and once we launch officially, we're done. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you have any more questions, please let me know in the comments box. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.